Hello and welcome back to another season right here on MRL Broadcasting. We are in season 2 of the Thursday Night Thriller O'Reilly Series. This is actually week 2. I had some minor issues last week and was not able to cover the season opener, but we are here and we are ready to go. Tonight we are at Phoenix Raceway for week 2. We have 140 laps. Stage lap is going to be lap 120 or the end of lap 119. They have 5 sets of tires. Fuel is going to be 55%. Weather's pretty calm and collected. Partly cloudy, 76-degree air temperature. Track temp 77. Not a super hot track or anything like that. They got about 6 minutes left in practice, so we can go over the points after last week. All right, here, pay no attention to that cut line. I think I have it calculated a little bit wrong. I don't remember if the cutoff's 12 or not, or if it was 16, but your current points leader is Justin Sumner with 69 points, followed really closely, sitting in second to Kenneth Redinger with 65 points. And then Justin Parham round out your top 3 here in the point standings after week 1. Justin Parham, season champion last season. So he is the defending champion here in season 2 of the O'Reilly Series. Looking at... Let's bring up, what do we want to do here? We'll bring up the format. Kind of the same format that we had last season with playoff bracket once the playoff starts. There's a 20-lap shootout at the end. There is a stage break for that 20-lap shootout. So that is the completion of the stage. You can see the points there that they'll get at the completion of that stage. First, they'll get 25 points, second 20, and then it'll just drop down 1 point for each position behind that. And then you have your 20-lap shootout or sprint to the finish, which is your completion of the race and whatnot. So you can definitely stack up some points here with a really good stage finish. Have a really good race finish there with that 20-lap shootout. Definitely a interesting concept. And then we'll have to, once we get a little bit closer to the playoffs, we'll have to talk about the playoff bracket here on the right side. You can see no fast repairs. They do get a penalty at 21x on incidents. It is fixed setups, and the disqualification is at 28x. You can kind of see your filter percentages there depending on the length of the track that we go to. Qualifying format is a group qualifying for 10 minutes. We got about 3.5 minutes left before we kick that off. We got 10 minutes, open qualifying, all the cars on the track, whoever can lay down the fastest lap during that open qualifying with multiple chances to try to go out there and hot lap with all the other cars on the track will be your pole sitter. Starts, restarts, initial start on flagman, restarts on the leader in the restart box, and all restarts leader will have lane choice, whether that's the inside or the outside. Caution procedures, just your plain Jane standard iRacing automatic cautions. And then right there's that thrown at lap 20 or with 20 laps to go, that competition caution. To kind of set up that 20-lap shootout to the end. We do have about, looks like 16 drivers here on track. And let's see if I can find a different camera here because that's not working too good. Here's Jay Stenson, car out on track. Joshua Barr also turning some laps here in qualifying, looking at some of these guys qualifying, or not qualifying, practice. Some of the practice laps some of these guys have put down. Your last season's championship or champion looks like he's put down about 65 laps in this session. So the next guy closest to him looks like is going to be Dylan Orman. He has about 65 laps during this session as well. Everyone else is kind of hanging out in the 30 to 40 lap range during this practice session. Just like last season, whenever we're doing these broadcasts or whatever, we'll kind of do the same format: cover practice, cover last week, and from there we'll go down and kick off all the shenanigans tonight, starting with not that button, the national anthem. And we are back. Gotta absolutely love national anthem anytime there's any type of sporting events. Definitely a tradition that I cannot steer away from. Qualifying is just getting underway here. It looks like we have Andrew Davis coming out on track here to turn his first qualifying lap, or his out lap to kick off qualifying here, and be interesting to see who tries to come out and qualify with the group, or who tries to get some clean track, because we all know that dirty air can kind of play a role a little bit in the handling of these cars. Not too familiar with the O'Reilly car, but I would imagine it's just like every other car out on track anymore on iRacing, where everyone seems to be fighting dirty air whenever in traffic. Justin Parham, last season's champion, definitely has he was the fastest guy in practice, so he is picking up right where he left off last season with that season championship. See what he's able to lay down here. Coming into turn one for his first time lap. Many to come. There are a few new names. Andrew Davis goes to the top of the leaderboard here. Again, it is group qualifying, so all these guys are going to spend 10 minutes out here on track all together here and see who winds up on top, as we see Justin Parham go to the top of the leaderboard. So, as I was saying earlier before I got myself sidetracked, some familiar names in the field here and some new ones. Zach Hillman, last night in the SWC Moonlight Gen 6 Series, picked up a podium position at Sonoma. Kenneth Redger, last night's winner in that same exact series. Kenneth Redger, pretty dominant race last night. Turning right around Sonoma, so it was definitely pretty impressive to see what he's able to do. Joshua Barr up to the top of the leaderboard. Recognize that name from last season as well. Some new names that I don't recognize from last season that possibly going to be new this season. Brian Coart, he is not on track yet. Zachary Mulhern another name that I don't recognize from last season, Marcus Hacker. I do believe he's a new competitor here on Thursday nights. Dylan Orman, another new name, and a lot of these other ones. Andrew Davis. We know Andrew Davis. He's pretty quick around these tracks. Steve Lewis, Jay Stinson. Nick Hames might be a new one. And then Austin Thompson. I recognize that name from Monday nights in the Monday Mayhem series, coming over here and racing Thursdays in the O'Reilly Series. So definitely some guys getting around here, racing some different series and becoming a regular here on Moonlight Racing League. If you are interested in racing anything with the Moonlight Racing League, you can always go to our website at moonlightracingle.com to see all of our different series that we race and get hooked up with a link to our Discord. About almost 4 minutes into qualifying here, and still guys just turning some laps. Zach Hillman out on track. Joshua Barr still holding on to that top spot. Find a better camera. For the time being, this Thursday night O'Reilly Series is the only series that we're kind of broadcasting on this channel by done by me, Buddy the Professor. So all of our other series, they're either on PGR eSports on Friday nights for the Friday Night ARCA series, or the Vortex Racing Network for Monday Mayhem and the SWC Moonlight Gen 6 series on Wednesday nights. Little bit of a fender rub there that put someone nose first into the wall under qualifying, or during qualifying, I should say. I'm looking forward to covering a race finally that hopefully it doesn't have a whole lot of netcode issues like we've seen in that Wednesday series over on the VRN. Kenneth Renger's currently sitting in fourth place. We all know him being a super fast guy around ovals. Last night, coming off of that win, proving that he can kind of turn right around Sonoma. Steve Lewis, one name that you're not going to notice here in the field this season is Joseph Volpus. Steve Lewis has a live guy right up there sitting on that pit box, and that is the one and only Joseph Volpus. Be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm sure Joe can definitely get Lewis to the front of the field in a lot of these races. Kind of having a coach right there in your ear is always a benefit, to say the least. Marcus Hacker in 927 able to move up to the 5th position in qualifying. Jay Stinson sitting in 8th. Zach Lawson getting loose there on the exit of 4. One thing with Phoenix, when you're trying to run that bottom, being too aggressive and carrying the momentum, it likes to send the car around a little bit, and you get what we just saw happen with Zach Lawson there. But this open qualifying format, we're kind of, with oval racing, we're familiar with the typically the 2 lap. Got 2 laps to put down your best lap time, and then you're kind of done whether you complete those laps or not. So there's a benefit in this format, and that is being able to go all out as many times as you can squeeze in during that 10-minute qualifying. And I apologize, I'm trying to fix my keyboard because it is not wanting to stay connected. That is no good. Justin Parham, Kenneth Redinger still kind of turning some laps here. This open qualifying also gives some some guys that last little shot to kind of test a little bit of long run pace, see what's going to happen after you've done 10 or 15 laps, and just kind of stay out there, maybe practice some pit stops in case we end up pitting under green or something like that. Some of the pit entries, these tracks can be a little chaotic, as we see Justin Parham bowl a strike right to the pit exit cone. Poor blue cone gets abused by it. So many different people on iRacing all the time. Oh my goodness. I think it's the rite of passage on iRacing is take out the blue cone or shove it out on track. Austin Thompson making his way out on track here. First out lap, hasn't completed any laps yet under qualifying. One of the two cars that have yet to put any times down here. Brian Cohart being the other driver that has yet to put any time down in qualifying. Oh, hold on to it, Austin. A little bit loose, dirt tracking it around the 1 and 2. Really flat corner 1 and 2 is, and then you kind of come down here to a heavy braking zone into 3 and 4, a little bit more banking to play with, and you can kind of opt to shoot the dog leg here as we see Austin get a little bit unstable there in dog leg. Those bumps, depending on where you hit that dog leg at, can be a little bit atrocious. Now, I've seen that line that Austin just took a 1 and 2 work in some other cars. The ARCA car, I've seen it work in that one. We've seen some real-life NASCAR drivers prefer that line in the trucks or whatever, going all the way down there below the yellow to try to get a little bit of an advantage. Almost hits the barrels. Almost Kyle Larson'd it there. Got about 4 seconds left in qualifying, and then we'll be kicking off to our starting grid. See some of these guys just kind of still putting laps down. Kenneth Redinger done about a little over 15 laps. Zach Hillman, 15 laps. Steve Lewis almost up to 15 laps here during this qualifying session. So definitely trying to get that last minute of practice in before we kick the race off. Oh, either my stuff locked up or it's changing states. Not sure which yet. We'll just be patient here and let it play out however it's going to play out. There we go. I do believe we are going to be gridding up here, so let's change some cameras. See what grid looks like. Grid looks nice and pretty. Starting on pole tonight, Joshua Barr in the number 35. To his outside, Justin Parham, season defending champion from last season, is going to be starting in second position. Row 2, Kenneth Redinger starting in third position for Grandstand Racing. To his outside in fourth, Andrew Davison, number 33, Chevy. Row 3, Zach Hillman in the number 3, starting in fifth. To his outside, Steve Lewis in the number 88. Zach Clausen in the number 83, starting in seventh. Inside, Marcus Hacker in the 927. Row 5, Jay Stinson, number 18. To his outside, starting in 10th, is Dylan Orman in the 901. Row 6 is going to be the 931 of Nick Hames for Sly Little Box Racing in 11th. To his outside in 12th is going to be Frank Caruso in the 914. Rick Paradis in the number 34 is going to be on the inside of row 7 to his outside, and 14th is going to be Zachary Mulhern in the number 22. Austin Thompson, 15th. Brian Coar, 16th in the 916. And that is going to be our starting field here. 16 drivers, all ready to let it hang out here at Phoenix. Super fun track, can be super racy. A lot of different lanes that you can choose going into 1 and 2, especially for those drivers that cut the dog leg. It can be a little bit risky. Pace car makes an early exit off track here to go down pit road. Pit entry is so early at this track, just off turn 2. Joshua Barr is going to, well, there's not really a control car for the first start of the races. First start is on the flagman, and then every restart out off of that, your race leader is going to have the control. Green at Phoenix here at MRL Broadcasting in the Moonlight Racing League Thursday night Thriller O'Reilly Series. See all these guys opting to take multiple different lines, find a decent camera angle here so I can keep track. Justin Parham is going to have the momentum on the outside and get the benefit, take over the lead over Joshua Barr. Some of these guys back here kind of singling it out. Looks like Kenneth Redger looking to the inside of Joshua Barr to battle for second position. Justin Parham able to pull away a little bit of a gap here over those two. Some of these guys further on back, we got Zach Clausen and Marcus Hacker kind of side by side. Nothing too crazy going on. Everyone's keeping it nice and clean, single file and steady. Looks like we do have a battle between Zach Hillman was able to pass Joshua Barr to take over third. You can kind of see, there's not a lot of room back there, but I don't know who that was. Maybe Frank Caruso, Nick Hames kind of in the mix there, trying to sort some, everyone trying to go for the same real estate on the track, and that don't always work. Zach Hillman to the inside, Justin Parham take over second place. Now going to start to try to work on Kenneth Redger. Redger was able to take over the lead, and I think we missed it watching all the other stuff happen further back in the pack here. We're only on lap 4. Everyone's kind of kept it clean. The 28, no, maybe that was the 927, yeah, 927, and Marcus Hacker looking to the inside. Steve Lewis, but he's going to get a little bit unstable, taking that dog leg and bouncing around, getting loose, and Steve Lewis is going to be able to drive around him on the outside. Jay Stinson is right there with him, and also probably going to be able to, as long as he plays his cards right here, he should be able to have a little bit of extra momentum on the outside. Hacker does not look like he's going to risk it and try to take that dog leg again. No, I don't blame him there. He was already pretty unstable. Kenneth Redger, your current race leader. Zach Hillman pulling out of a little bit of a gap over third place to Justin Parham. Joshua Barr just kind of lurking there on the back bumper of Parham, but you kind of got to think big picture here, or long term. Don't want to burn your stuff up too early. You only got 55% fuel. They should be able to, if it goes green, it should be 2 green flag pit stops or so in order to make it to the stage. I think that's how Brandon set that up, or we tried to calculate it that way. So hopefully it's been working out, or it worked out last week like that at Michigan. Not too familiar with what happened last week at Michigan with me not being here. I think it was Michigan that they raced out last week. Heck, I don't even know the track. Frank Caruso looking to the outside of Steve Lewis, and he's going to lose a lot. It took a really, really high line in 3 and 4, and that really set him back a little bit. Zach Clausen looking to his inside. But I think I got to slow down talking. I'm talking too fast, and words are coming out before my brain's functioning, so that's definitely not good. The one thing that is good, though, for these two drivers, Kenneth Redinger, Zach Hillman, they pulled out about almost a 2-second lead over Justin Parham sitting in third. Battle for third is heating up a little bit with Andrew Davis, Joshua Barr, Justin Parham all right on kind of throw a blanket over these three a little bit. Is Andrew Davis able to get a little bit of a faster entry than Joshua Barr was able to. Barr a little bit loose there. I think Barr had to come off the throttle a little bit, going to get to the inside of Justin Parham. But I think Parham's going to be able to have the momentum as long as they don't touch. Oh, not a whole lot of room there to play with, but Joshua Barr doesn't really slide job Parham, but he's able to take over that position and moves into third place. Parham fighting back on the outside. Andrew Davis kind of sitting back there looking at these guys going at it, swapping places like they are, and probably hoping something happens between those two and he don't have to worry about battling them or anything. We are only 13 laps into our race of 140 laps with a stage at the end of lap 119. I do have a little bit of new gadgets to play with during this broadcast, but one of those gadgets are driver cams, and no one put their cam in the room, so I won't be able to show that one off, but we got some other stuff up here that we can play with. We got some stuff for stages. We got some stuff for the race off pit road. You saw the grid. We were able to use that one. And you saw the point standings that pulls everything straight from SDK. So some new stuff added to this season for this broadcast. And hopefully I'll have a lot more to add after this. But to get back to the race, we are on lap 15 now of 119 to the stage. Kenneth Redinger is still your leader. Has been able to pull out about a 1.5 second gap over Zach Hillman. In second, Joshua Barr. Third, Justin Parham. Fourth, Andrew Davis, rounding out your top five. Jay Stinson is one of the two biggest movers of the race so far, sitting in sixth. He's up 3 spots. Zach Hillman, your current second place driver, is up 3 spots as well. And then the 916 of Brian Cohart, him too is up 3 spots. Frank Caruso in the 914 up 3 spots. So we have a 4-way tie here for the biggest mover of this race so far. See if I can find some decent battles. And I think that's going to be Zach Clausen and Frank Caruso here, the duo red cars. A little bit different shade of red if my eyes aren't tricking me. Zach Clausen looking to the inside of Frank there. This is a battle for the 9th position. Frank going to be able to drive it in a little bit deeper on the outside, should be able to carry a little bit more momentum. Zach being aware that there is potentially going to be a run on the outside and just not using up all that track. Zach should be able to have the advantage here, able to run the very bottom at 3 and 4 and get the shorter way around the track and have the advantage, and Zach's going to take over the 9th place. The next up battle, I think, is going to be between these two right here, Marcus Hacker, Steve Lewis. This is battle for 7th place. Steve Lewis looking to the inside of Marcus. Another one in 3 and 4 here. Lewis able to keep it nice and clean, have the shorter way around the track, and We see Marcus staying up there on the regular track, not cutting that dog leg after he almost wiped out, a handful of laps ago, which is definitely terrifying whenever it happens to you and the car is super stable. You hit the transition, and then Zach Clausen just pancakes the wall on the exit. Doesn't look like, I don't really see any damage on the car, but you just never know. I don't know how sensitive these cars are to damage anymore. That has kind of let Frank get back up to his back bumper, but seems like Zach's not having any issues with driving that car, so I don't think he's dealt with any damage. I don't see any meatball or anything on the timing. Back up to the front, Kenneth Redinger working on Austin Thompson here to put Austin a lap down, which is going to be the first car a lap down. Austin pinching him down, trying to stay on that lead lap. And he's able to hold Kenneth off for now, but Kenneth's going to shoot it to the outside here and try to get get a little bit of momentum on exit. Austin's able to power through on the bottom. They both dive to the dog leg. Kenneth has the inside here into 1 and 2. Austin's able to power back on the outside, door to door. This is a door banging a little bit. Austin has momentum on the exit at 2 and going to stay on the lead lap here. Oh man. Kenneth able to go ahead and put Austin a lap down there. A little bit of door rubbing, tight racing. There's still nose to tail here. I don't think there's any, this isn't really a closest battle for position, but it is a battle for Austin staying on the lead lap. I think Kenneth has clean air here. Whole chain reaction. Zach Hillman, Joshua Barr all bouncing off the wall back there off of 2. Zach Clausen up to the back bumper. Marcus Hacker for 8th position. Hacker runs a little bit wide, should have a little bit more momentum. Zach's going to use the shorter way around the track, cutting the dog leg. But you can see that extra momentum that Marcus had on the outside has him a much stronger entry into 1. Looks like Zachary Mulhern in number 22 coming down pit road on lap 25 of 119. So I think this might be a little bit early. Unless we did our math wrong where we were setting up the how much fuel gets burned per lap, which I'm going to have to blame on the stats being wrong for Garage 61. If that ends up being the case this race, hopefully not. Everyone's still kind of single filed out, nice and clean for 16 drivers on the track. Zachary Mulhern, quick stop and go, goes 1 lap down, I believe. Did not take, oh no, he took fuel and everything. 14.68 second pit stop. So that should definitely be fuel. Let me check my, that might not be good that I had that set like that in case we get a caution. So I'm going to fix this right past why we are kind of clean and green here. Because one of my other plugins here is going to use this and I need it to be somewhat accurate. All right, that's all taken care of for whenever that situation or scenario presents itself. Justin Parham way high on the track. I think he stayed on the, no, that was Zach Hillman up there, stayed on the racing surface. Justin Parham able to work around Zach Hillman while I was updating all that stuff to trying to look at my stuff because I'm going to have to be honest, and I don't remember which order these guys was running in before I started messing with my numbers. I do believe Zach Hillman was running in second, though. current race leader currently still Kenneth Redinger, followed by Justin Parham in second, Zach Hillman in third. Kenneth Redinger able to pull out a little over a 3-second gap over his second place teammate there, Justin Parham. Zach Hillman, Andrew Davis, Joshua Barr rounding out your top 5. Jay Stinson still sitting there in 6th. Steve Lewis in 7th. Looking at some of these times, a driver we haven't really talked about too much tonight is Rick Paradis in number 34. Little bit of kind of scratching the surface of the back bumper of the 916 of Brian Cohart, another driver that we haven't really talked about too much. If a caution were to come out right now, Austin Thompson would be your first lap or the first car 1 lap down, so he would get the lucky dog or the wave around or whatever. It looks like Andrew Davis and Zach Hillman here fighting. Andrew Davis looking to the outside of Hillman, all the way up against the wall, throws a little bit of sparks, and there's some cars ahead of that looked like they were a little bit unstable. Andrew Davis, really wide entry, cut down with late apex, try to make this backstretch as long as possible. You can see that little crossover that he did puts him on the inside here, so he's going to have the choice of either not taking the dog leg like that, or it happened before I could spit the words out of my mouth. I was going to say he has the option to not take the dog leg and force Hillman to stay up high there on the tri-oval instead of taking the dog leg, and the situation happened before I could even spit it out of my mouth. So this is going to be the first caution, and we'll go ahead and go back and look at the wreck. We saw what happened live, but it's a perfect example of how you can kind of play defensive and control that car on the outside when you are the inside car in 3 and 4. I do believe that Andrew Davis was going to try to keep Hillman up the track, and Hillman probably expected him to cut the dog leg, and it didn't happen, and bammo. I don't think Andrew Davis is going to have too much damage after that. He didn't hit the wall or anything. No one else hit him, I don't think. We'll sit here and watch this a little bit. No. Everyone stayed nice and clean, but now we can look at this, because I think it should work. Once these guys start coming out of pit road, Joshua Barr misses pit stall there a little bit, has to throw it in reverse. And please tell me you... yeah, there we go. Jay Stinson picks up 1 spot on pit road. Switch cameras here because it's kind of finicky, and it's taking a while for these guys to shoot out of pit lane. Steve Lewis picks up 1 spot. The 927 picks up 3 spots. Foreman picks up 3 spots. Hames picks up 3 spots. Yeah, I think looking at the field times, it does look like everyone is kind of... I think I have my math wrong still. I don't think those damage repairs are accurate numbers. I think those are all 4-tire stops. So maybe I need to make my damage repair like 15 seconds maybe, instead of 14.5. Or maybe it just didn't update whenever I updated the timing for whatever reason. But there's a race off pit road of the drivers that pit during that caution. Some drivers maintain their position as Ken Redinger, Justin Parham. Austin Thompson was able to get that lucky dog coming out on track now as the leaders are making their way down the backstretch. And I think Brian Cohart might have been a car that got the wave around. Thought I saw a car there in front of Redinger and Parham. Coming to the Geico restart zone, the green flag. Here at Phoenix in the Moonlight Racing League's Thursday Night Thriller O'Reilly Series. Kenneth Redinger with a really good jump. Car way down there. Way down there. Who was that? 916 a Coar? Yeah, he's down there below the apron. Everyone looking like they're single filing out here. Pretty quick on lap 30. Coming to 38 of 119 to our stage. I think that's Brent Caruso in the 914 there on the outside. And the 901 drifting up the track, cuts the nose off of the 34. That was almost caution number 2. Oh man, someone's off the pace. Dodging and weaving, and my keyboard won't shut up and beeping in my ear. Oh man. Kenneth Redinger, Justin Parham, Jay Stinson, 3 teammates right here running 1, 2, 3. Marcus Hacker right on the back bumper of Jay Stinson though. Steve Lewis up to 6th place, has some cars working his outside. That 916 is the lap car, so Steve just needs to keep that. Don't think that's the car you're racing for position, so just keep it clean, stay in your race, keep your head down. Everything's all good and kosher. Do have a battle for 3rd place currently between these two guys, Marcus Hacker, Jay Stinson. Make sure everything's going to stay calm and collected, and then I think we're going to take a small break. Do an ad spot with our friendly people over at Moza and iRacing. Some side-by-side racing here with Andrew Davis and Dylan Orman in the 901. Orman has the advantage on the outside, a little bit easier to carry the momentum. Guy on the inside can't use up all that exit space in the track because you really don't want to pancake the guy to your outside into the wall and that be his race. Does seem like everyone is single filed out, nose to tail. I don't see any super close battles. Everyone seems to be spread by about. Andrew Davis and Dylan Orman still going back or going at each other here. Now Davis is on the outside, should be able to have the run on the exit down the backstretch here off at 2. Austin Thompson right on the back bumper of the 34, looking to the inside to take over 12th position. Dives really aggressive down there, able to come right up and he's super fast on entry and dirt tracking it. It's going to slow his speed down a little bit in the corner. You can see the flame shoot out of the 34. Rick Paradis kind of having to come off the throttle. Eventually I'll say all this stuff has calmed down and I'll be for real. But every time I say that, there's something like this. Andrew Davis on the inside of Nick Hames. This is a battle for 8th position. Side by side, you can see Zach Clausen and Austin Thompson back there also side by side. And 901, Dylan Orman kind of in the middle of this trifecta here. Oh, everyone's ducking and weaving and dodging, and Zach Clausen super low on the bottom. Someone was way down there. I think that was Andrew Davis that was down there all the way by the inside pit wall, trying to get as much of an advantage as he can for the entry of 1. And it paid off for him. You can see Zach Clausen getting swallowed alive here. Looking 3 wide. Oh, man, there's room here to go 3 wide, but you got to be careful with it. Zach Clausen falling backwards. Going to lose a few spots there. Just not a lot of momentum to work with, and we saw Orman and Thompson both be able to get around him, and now Rick Paradis in 34 is working on him. Kenneth Redinger, still your race leader, 7/10 of a second lead over his teammate Justin Parham. His third teammate here running in the top three, Jay Stinson. He's coming off of a win this last Sunday in one of the craziest Talladega races I've ever seen, where that finish was 1, 2, 3 door to door across the line for the podium, and there was no telling on who was going to grab that win. I had to wait until I saw the timing on iRacing to figure out who it was that actually won. It was so close. And Nick Hames, and who is that? Rick Paradis, Zach Clausen, all here in a three-way battle for the 11th position. Rick Paradis looking to the inside of Nick Hames. Gonna not have a good exit. Had to see if Hames is. No, he doesn't try the crossover or anything. It looked like someone got in the wall ahead of them, though. I don't know if that was Clausen or Thompson. Or maybe Orman. Maybe it was Orman. We have a two-way tie for our biggest movers of this race so far, and that is Jay Stinson sitting in third place. He is up 6 positions, and Frank Caruso up 6 positions as well, sitting in 6th. Looking through the timing here, we got 16 guys on track, 3 cars, at least 1 lap down, and I think now everyone's separated by about 3/10. So I think I'm going to refresh my drink, kick it over to an ad, and then we will come back right after that. If I can find my buttons. I don't think I have my buttons, so we'll do it this way. We'll have to go manual here.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back here live from Phoenix Raceway. We are in week 2 of the Thursday Night Thriller O'Reilly Series through the Moonlight Racing League. My name is Buddy the Professor, and I am the commentator and producer tonight. Kind of a solo show, just winging it the best that I can. We do have eight viewers right now. Looks like 10 viewers, something like that. So if you guys are... I don't know what happened to the 33, Brandon. I'll have to go back and look. I was trying to look at my buttons. Where's the 33? Let's see if I can see something on my timing here. And I do not see anything on my timing for the 33. Let's see here. Past Nick Hames. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything on my information for the 33, so I'm not sure what happened. But we'll have to... I don't even know how to approach that because I have no idea. No, yeah, I have no, maybe it was the camera angle. Like I don't, looking at my data or whatever, I don't even have all kinds of people passing him. So maybe it was just a horrible camera angle. The only thing that I have for Andrew Davis is him passing other cars. Oh. Maybe it was while I was getting a drink and I didn't see it happen. But it looks like everything's fine with him. He's not off the pace with any of the other cars really around him. He's actually, his last lap times are a little bit faster than the leaders or in time with the leaders. So I don't think, yeah, I'm not sure. But we'll have to continue on where I left off here with, I don't even remember what I was talking about whenever I came back, but I know I was wanting to talk about how we're just over halfway to the stage. We're at lap 62 of 119. Stage ends on lap 120. Kenneth Redinger, Justin Parham, Jay Stinson, Steve Lewis able to move up into the top 5. Marcus Hacker currently rounding out your top 5. As you can see, Hacker right there on the kind of on the tail end of Steve Lewis. You know, Brendan, I think my problem is my I'm not getting any updates for any passes or anything happening on track, so maybe that's why I didn't notice. Because I try to pay attention to that, because it'll tell me when someone passes another person or someone goes off track or wrecks or whatever. And I think that is frozen in my SDK at the moment because I'm not getting any changes whatsoever. Hopefully all my sound is on. Everything sounds really quiet to me. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up whenever I did that little commercial break. Everyone's still kind of spread out, though. Kind of right before we went to commercial is looking kind of the same way. Austin Thompson, we saw him one lap down earlier, fighting really hard with Kenneth Redinger, trying to stay on the lead lap. And he's been able to recover from that, currently sitting in 9th place, up 6 spots. Jay Stinson's still up 6 spots. Steve Lewis up 2, Marcus Hacker up 3, Frank Caruso having a pretty decent race tonight, sitting in 7th place as we see Joshua Barr and Marcus Hacker here going to battle for 5th position. Joshua Barr able to take that position over and move on, and both of those guys are opting to not take that dog leg. Our closest battle on track is Dylan Orman and Frank Caruso here. 2 900 numbers, door to door. Austin Thompson right on their tail end. 901 gets a little bit of a bad exit, and Austin Thompson trying to work his way around. Oh man, they're trying to wreck. Oh no, right in front of Andrew Davis. Everyone keeps it clean. Austin Thompson takes the dog leg. Andrew Davis looking to the outside of Dylan Orman in the 901. Davis going to run the middle of the exit here. Able to power around on the outside and take over that position to take 9th. All right, Brandon, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. Something sounds weird in my headphones. Austin Thompson bouncing off the wall there on the exit of 4. Not sure what sounds so weird on my headphones, but something, I don't know what I hit. But it is all good. As long as you can hear me and the cars and everything, it's just not me talking to myself and no one hearing me, or no one hearing iRacing like that one race whenever I did the whole half of the race with no iRacing sound. It's a fantastic night here at Phoenix Raceway in the old Arizona desert. I think these 4 cars right here, Frank Caruso, Austin Thompson, Andrew Davis, Dylan Orman, they are our closest battle on track. They're separated by about 0.3 of a second, nose to tail. Not really door to door, side by side or anything, but Austin Thompson trying to work on Frank Caruso, get any little bit of an advantage as he can. We see Andrew Davis all the way up by that outside wall. Now, I've seen that line work I've seen it work really well in the next gens here in 1 and 2, where you kind of run that wall and you late apex the exit for turn 2, and you make that backstretch as long as humanly possible to have a bit of an advantage of momentum to enter 3 and 4 with, since you have a little bit more banking in 3 and 4 to play with. It's not quite as flat as 1 and 2 is. Seems like that's where a lot of guys are getting loose right now. Andrew Davis able to close up on the back bumper of Austin Thompson. This is a battle for the 8th position. They both kind of being cautious there, cutting the dog leg. Andrew Davis looking about a lane higher. Late apex at Austin opposite, go below the yellow. Davis is going to have the momentum into 3 here, but I think Austin is going to be able to power along on the outside and get the advantage on the exit. Use all that speed and cut the dog leg. Andrew Davis, Austin Thompson fighting side by side is kind of bringing Dylan Orman back up into the picture in the 901. Kind of want to stay here to see how things shake up between these 3. The rest of the field is kind of where we left them at. Looks like Nick Hames might be coming down pit road on lap 74 of 119. Brandon, I got a little bit paranoid about our field run calculations that we did to set some of these up, and I completely forgot about the caution on lap 34 where everyone pit. So I was like, man, they went 75 laps on one tank. It's gonna be a one-stop race except for the stage caution. And no, I just forgot about the caution on lap 34 or 33 or whatever lap it was. We do got 11 viewers. Welcome to the MRL broadcasting. This is the Moonlight Racing League Thursday Night Thriller O'Reilly Series. If you're interested in a free league, super friendly guys, whole bunch of stuff going on through the week on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. Free league to race in. Just go to moonlightracingleague.com. Links to all of our different series, point standings, all that stuff is right there on the website. Links to our Discord. This is the Thursday night is the one series that is broadcast here on the MRL Broadcasting Network, or MRL Broadcasting. Mondays and Wednesdays are broadcasted over on the Vortex Racing Network here on YouTube, and then Fridays are broadcasted under the PGR Esports YouTube channel right here on YouTube. So definitely a lot of different series to choose from here in MRL. Good place to be, pretty active league. Bunch of these series are multi-seasons in, so as we see Steve Lewis, Marcus Hacker, Joshua Barr, Dylan Orman, Frank Caruso, I hope I'm saying that name right. All coming in. Kenneth Redinger, Justin Parham, Jay Stinson coming down for their pit stops. Under green here. Austin Thompson, I believe, has already completed. No, he hasn't completed his stop yet. He's still out on track. Oh, I hear tires spinning. I hear tires. That's what I thought I saw, and I don't know where it was. Oh, this is exactly, I think, what Austin wanted to see, along with Zach Clausen. It's going to put them in an advantage of being able to have quite a few cars a lap down. I heard all kinds of tires screeching, and I think I have found the cause of our caution here. And go in slow motion and see what happened. It looks like it's going to involve Joshua Barr. Actually, I don't know how far back we went, so let's go in full motion. Oh, just Joshua Barr, I do believe, was on fresher tires and does an excellent job of not coming up and taking out the 916. Super heavy on the brakes to prevent that, and it just kind of sent him around. Unfortunately for those guys that just got done pitting, though, that puts them in quite the conundrum or situation, I think. Austin Thompson making his way down to do his green or yellow caution flag stop here. Now I gotta see something. I gotta test something to make sure this reset. I think I'm way too fast on the pit stop times, and that's why it's telling me damage repair all the time. And for some reason, whenever I put that variable into a different number, it is not updating here. None of these guys gained or lost anything on pit road, though. So that is updating like it's supposed to, which is nice and fine and dandy, exactly the way that I wanted it to work. Kenneth Redinger, Justin Parham should be able to, this is going to cycle Thompson somewhere in the middle of the field here, I think. Him and Brian Coe are all both going to have an advantage. Like that benefited them massively, having that caution whenever it came out. Looks like Austin Thompson is going to cycle out in fourth position with Redinger, Parr, and Stenson, year 1, 2, and 3. But because of that, that trapped half the field one lap down, it looks like. Frank Caruso, Andrew Davis, Dylan Orman, Nick Hames, Zach Clausen, Marcus Hacker. Rick Paradis is currently in the pits for almost 2 minutes now. Zachary Mulhern and Zach Hillman all showing at least one lap down. So from 8th position back, those guys are in a little bit of a, not a super bad hole, like we're inching up on that stage break where those stage points will be awarded, but I think they're really in a situation where They need a caution, and they need everyone to pit, and they need to stay out and hope for the wave around, and then they need another really quick caution after that in order to be able to come in and make their pit stop to kind of equalize with everyone and then get themselves back in the race. Definitely see some crazy stuff happen. And why am I stuck on pit lane? Definitely seen some crazy stuff happen in the old NASCAR realm of everything. And I think because of the way all the pits happen, for some reason, we are single file starting. Because the pace car is off. Well, I gotta say, this is a first for me. Everyone's in a single file here. I think Kenneth Register's going to get the green flag right here. No. Race control might be, or an admin might be trying to fix stuff here because the pace car is already off the track. But pace cars back on the track. Oh, Brandon, I'm so confused. But I think the admins are trying to take care of stuff here because that would have been everyone going back to green, I think, with the pace car being off. Or maybe I'm not live. No, I'm live. Okay. All right, I have no idea. Pace lights are back on the pace car. Let's see if we can get this sorted out here and figure out what's going to happen. Everyone is 2x2 now, so maybe one to go here if the pace lights go out on the pace car. And I did get word from an admin that it is being corrected by the admins in the session. So that's why we saw this caution period extended a little bit. They'll be starting lap 86 when we go back green here. Currently on, 87. Starting 87 when we go back green, currently on lap 86. Stage caution of 120, so we got about 35, 34, 33 laps to go until our stage break. Oh, we're under caution even longer here. Pace lights are still on. Andrew Davis getting a wave around or a lucky dog or something. Came back from way, way back into the field there. Come around everyone, get one of those laps back. This is going to be the last car on the lead lap. You know, Brandon, that's one thing that's kind of weird with iRacing sometimes. It has a mind of its own. Especially at the weirdest tracks, like Bristol's one of those tracks where it has a mind of its own and does what it kind of wants to do. Pace lights are off on the pace car now, so we should be going back green here. But we're still basically single file. It was like just the first two rows are 2x2. Yeah, this will have to be as good as it gets for this restart here. Now, I think it just confused iRacing with where everyone was on the track and the pits and all that stuff. All right, one more time. Should be going green here. Coming to lap 88. 20. Kenneth Register gets a decent jump, but right behind him, Jay Stinson, the 18, cuts in front of his teammate, Justin Parham. Justin Parham looking to make a late apex here and get a run down the back stretch. Working to the inside of Jay Stinson. Oh, Steve Lewis right on the back bumper of Joshua Barr. Austin Thompson working. Oh, I hear tires screeching again. By We're going to go back and look at that. I don't see a caution for it, but oh, a little bit of tap from the 22. Kind of got a... Oh, man, that is definitely some damage now. Boy. Andrew Davis really hasn't had a lot of good luck during this race here. Got 14 viewers watching. Welcome to MRL Broadcasting. Andrew Davis coming down pit road, probably trying to... He had just got his lap back too during that funky little caution mishap that happened there in the middle that put everyone kind of weird in the field. Zach Clausen's currently scored as your first car, 1 lap down. Brian Coar, your last car on the lead lap. Kenneth Redger, Justin Parham, Jay Stinson, Joshua Barr, Austin Thompson rounding out your top 5. Steve Lewis, Brian Coar, 6th and 7th. Zach Clausen, Frank Caruso, Marcus Hacker rounding out your top 10. So we're on lap 93. Do some fast, inaccurate math in my head here, and we got about 26 laps to go. 25 laps to go until the stage competition yellow. Figure out who gets what stage points. Winner of the stage is going to go home with 25 points. Second place, 20. Third place, 19. Fourth place, or third place, 18. I think I done messed that up. Let's see. Ninth place, 20. Eighth place, 19. Yeah. Something like that. We'll see. We'll see where the stage gets here. A little bit of a battle here going on between... Oh, there's a lap car in the mix. There's Steve Lewis there trying to work on Austin Thompson. Looking to the inside of Austin Thompson. Zach Clausen there right behind this, followed by Marcus Hacker. Steve Lewis has the inside. Opts take the dog leg. Going to have the shortest way around the track, but Austin Thompson going to be able to power on the outside. Drives up the track a little bit. Steve Lewis is going to have a little bit of a run, and Austin says, no, thank you, and chops that lane off. Now they switch positions going into one here. You can just see how loose Austin is there. Coming through that transition is Marcus Hacker looking to the inside of Zach Clausen. This is our battle for our lucky dog here. Door to door right on the tail end of Steve Lewis and Austin Thompson. Marcus Hacker going to be able to get the advantage and get to the inside of Zach Clausen and clear for the lucky dog position. Hacker looking to the inside of Thompson, gets a little bit of door banging sheet metal rubbing. Rubbin's racing, they kept it clean. That pulls Austin Thompson a little bit further back off of Steve Lewis. Currently running in the 5th position. Now remember, he has that live guy right up there on the pit box. Joe Volpus right in his ear, probably telling Steve exactly what to do in all these different situations. Kenneth Redger right now a little over a 1 second lead over his second place teammate Justin Parham. Jay Simpson right on the back bumper of Justin Parham here. They're only separated about 4/10 of a second. Everything is definitely quietened out. I don't even know what word I'm trying to say. Austin Thompson coming down pit road, lap 100. lap 101 of 119. That almost looked like he disconnected there for a minute. Super short pit stop for Thompson here if he finds himself back out on track, which I do not see him out on track. Currently being shown out. That moves us to 6 cars left on the lead lap. Couple cautions. Looks like Zach Clausen looking to the inside of Dylan Orman for the 9th position. Orman going to be able to pull away a little bit on Zach. Got about 16 laps left until our stage break, and all these guys can get a set of tires and fuel, reset themselves for this little shootout to the end. Jay Stinson's able to close up a little bit on the back bumper of Parham here. These 3 guys running 1, 2, and 3 are all teammates, though, so I would expect the racing to be pretty giving between them all. I don't really see them doing anything to each other to hamper or cause issues with either ones of their races. Joshua Barr right behind them in 4th with about a minute or almost 2-second gap up to Jay Stinson. Steve Lewis behind that group with about 2.5 seconds almost. And then Brian Coart being your last car on the lead lap. Even with that being said, though, Coart's sitting in 6th place and he's up 10 spots. That caution, the way that it happened, really turned this race upside down with how many cars that trapped that one lap down. And it's always a crappy scenario to be on that end of that situation whenever that happens, right in the middle of the pit cycle. Stinson's still running right on the back bumper of Parham here. I think they might just run it out here and be nice and patient and calm and collected. I do not see our current points leader coming into tonight. I'm not seeing him on the entry list, even though we're well over halfway into this race, and I'm just now noticing that. But I would imagine we'll see a little bit of a shakeup in the points after tonight, even though we're super duper early in season 2 of Thursday Night Thriller O'Reilly Series. Almost 11 to go in the stage. I'm getting closer to the end here. Everyone's kind of spread out. I don't really see Austin Thompson. He is still being shown out, so I'm not sure what happened to him. Maybe a disconnection or something like that. Saw him come down pit road. He blinked out halfway down pit road and then was in his pit box. So I don't have an explanation for what happened to Austin. Frank Caruso trying to get up on the back bumper of Marcus Hacker. This is a battle for 7th position and the lucky dog, I believe. Yeah, Marcus Hacker, Frank Caruso. So not only is this for 7th position, but it is for the lucky dog. And with that caution coming for the stage break, that lucky dog could be an important position to get that lap back that you got trapped down on. Marcus Hacker able to get the run on the outside. Zach Clausen right there to the back bumper of Frank Caruso. Clausen to the inside of Caruso, going to take over the 8th position. Clausen almost able to get right up there to the back bumper of Marcus Hacker. And this right here, until the leaders get around, Brian Cohart, Marcus Hacker, Zach Clausen, Frank Caruso, these three cars right here is kind of a three-way battle for that lucky dog, all fighting over 7th position. You can see Dylan Orman back there. He's the next car that is part of that group. But he has a little bit of work to do to get up to those, as he is coming down pit road with 7 laps to go until the stage break here. Frank Caruso also pitting. Kenneth Redinger just running away here, kind of like we saw last night at Sonoma. Almost a 3-second lead over Justin Parham, sitting in second, last season's champion. And then their teammate Jay Stinson sitting in third. Joshua Barr is catching up, though. He's right on the back bumper of Jay Stinson, basically, and he's closed that gap a little bit. They're about a half of a second or so separated between the two. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of laps left to really do anything with it, unless Jay makes a mistake or something and just loses some pace. We are at 5 to go in the stage. Marcus Hacker coming down pit road, make his pit stop. So some of these guys might be, oh, I'm hearing sliding again. Holy moly. And a caution again. I don't know who that was. All I heard was tires sliding. I don't have any crash. Let's see who's slow on track here. The pace car is definitely not slow on track. Holy goodness, that probably gave everyone a heart attack looking in the rearview mirror after we saw last Monday night at New Hampshire at the old, oh my gosh, some confusion on pit entry. Anyways, anyone that experienced what was experienced Monday night at New Hampshire in the Monday Mayhem Series, the pace car probably just gave everyone a heart attack. That was part of that sitting in the front. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go right on over to the Vortex Racing Network and check out the video clips that we have posted from what can happen whenever iRacing decides to get a mind of its own, whenever it detects a car being disconnected or not disconnected. Good old packet loss for anyone that is interested. So I know this is probably, we were pretty close to the stage, and I think this is going to be a situation that's going to throw the stage off. So it's probably not going to complete on lap 20, but I'm going to keep my stage plug-in running, Brandon. We'll just have to ignore this stuff on there because I need to keep testing this plug-in to make sure it works. Every time I try to use it, there's always a caution in the most needed time that I need. Like just the unopportune time, the worst possible timing a caution could come out, but we'll see here. Should be going 1 to green right here. Pace car lights are off on the pace car. A lot of people getting that wave around. I think this is going to funnel Joshua Barr looks to be the race leader. Steve Lewis on the outside. Kenneth Redinger in third. Jay Stinson in fourth. And Zach Clausen in fifth. We can see all the lap cars that's getting that wave around, come back on the lead lap here right before the stage. Okay, so that was the stage, but my broadcast is it's going to seem like it wasn't the stage, so just ignore my stage because I don't have a button to correct for that. Because of this right here. So yeah, this is going to play out. Just ignore the points, ignore all that mumbo jumbo, and yeah, pretty decent start for Kenneth Redinger. Joshua Barr working on the outside, gets around Ken Redinger. They are still door to door. Ken Redinger going to have the advantage on the inside, going to lead the non-finalized stage lap because that is not an accurate ordeal right there, and I'll have to find some oh shoot, well, I have enough cars on the lead lap. I don't think this is going to complete out. We'll have to see. It should count the lap cars. Once 10th place gets around here to complete their lap, it should close. We'll just have to trial and error here for a little bit as Joshua Barr and Ken Redinger still door to door. Joshua, no, that's not going to, we're going to hide that because it's not going to work like that. Kenneth Redinger gets the advantage of the momentum on the outside, able to power back on the outside of Joshua Barr to take back over the lead. 19 laps to go here from Phoenix Raceway in the Thursday night Thriller O'Reilly Series. I think I might be losing my voice. Oh, Lordy, have mercy. Take a breather for a minute here. Redinger has been able to get a gap built on Joshua Barr. Steve Lewis pretty comfortable sitting here in third. Jay Stinson in fourth. Steve Lewis had Joe Volpus right in his ear, so it'd be kind of cool to see Steve Lewis pull out a podium or a win or second or something like that. Be kind of cool to be able to talk to Steve Lewis during the interview. Everyone else is Ken Redinger, Joshua Barr. This is kind of the closest battle on the track currently, even though they're separated by 3/10. Joshua Barr giving it everything he has. You can see him make up a lot of space on the entry to some of these corners, but Ken just has a super strong exit and able to bring that gap back. The Barr is able to close up on the entries, and it's just, it was like Jay Stinson closing in a little bit on Steve Lewis here. Now, I'm not sure what happened to Justin Parham. I don't know how he's a lap down. He was right there at the very front. Maybe it was a pit cycle deal, or he wasn't the one that, he wasn't part of the incident or anything, so I'm not sure what happened to him. I think maybe he had already pit and was lapped down where that caution came out, which is just unfortunate, untimely. He was super dominant all race, running in top three with his teammates Redinger and Stinson. Zach Lawson back on the lead lap. He's currently running in sixth. Pretty decent recovery from being a lap down not too many laps ago. Brian Coart running in fifth, up 11 spots from where he started. Kind of a three-way battle here between Stinson. No, they're separated further than that. There's almost a 7-second gap between Stinson and Coart. So yeah, I think our closest battle is still here for 1 and 2 between Joshua Barr and Ken Redinger. Steve Lewis and Jay Stinson, they've kind of equalized a little bit. 12 laps to go now from Phoenix. don't think I'm going to do a crank it up session or anything because we're really close to the end here. Just going to kind of let this play out. We got 6 guys on the lead lap because of the untimely caution before the last untimely caution. So we can look at our race recap, though. Let's look at that. We have had 3 cautions for 14 laps, 5 lead changes. Current leader, Kenneth Redinger, and we have 11 laps to go from Phoenix. Ten to go here as Ken Redinger goes across the start-finish line. Steve Lewis, Jay Stinson, that gap is not really changing a whole lot. It's staying pretty steady. Joshua Barr. Ken Redger's been able to pull out a little bit of a gap on Joshua Barr, but not too drastically. It's still it's a bigger gap than what it was before. We can see how all these top 5. Zach Clausen coming down pit lane. I'm not sure what for. He last pit on lap 154. Oh no. He last pit on... Where in the heck is his pit lap? Oh, his pit lap's hidden because he's in the pits. So I'll have to wait until he comes out of pits to update that. These top 3, top 4, they're all kind of separated by 1 second to each other. Brian Cohart, now your last car on the lead lap. Up 11 spots, still moves into the top 5 with Zach Clausen having to come down pit road. 9-second stop for Clausen, really short splash and go, all things considered. Maybe 2 tires. I'm not too familiar what the pit times look like in the O'Reilly car. Ken Redinger, still your race leader, coming up on lap traffic. It looks like that is the number 22. Of Zachary Mulhern. Had to find number 22. I couldn't find it on my list. Thought I heard some tires screeching again, and so far every time I've heard that, it's always been a crash going on, and this is something that these guys probably don't want to see. Got 6 laps to go. It's almost time to close it out. We only got 5 cars on the lead lap. Everyone's pretty spread out, including our leaders here. I think all Redinger has to do is keep it nice and clean. Focus, not making any mistakes, and just keep running his pace. Jay Stinson has Justin Parham right on his back bumper. We can see Steve Lewis up there with a little bit of a gap back to Jay. Pretty comfortable gap to maintain. All Lewis has to do is keep his head down and finish this thing out. We're now at 4 laps to go from Phoenix Raceway here in Arizona in the Moonlight Racing League Thursday Night Thriller O'Reilly Series. Do only got 5 cars on the lead lap. There was a earlier caution that kind of threw the field to it was in the middle of green flag stops, and it ended up biting about half of the field in the rear end by making their stop and being in the middle of that cycle where the caution came out, and just haven't had the opportunity to be able to recover from that. Two to go from Phoenix. Ken Redinger still your leader. Pulled a little bit further away from Joshua Barr in second. Steve Lewis in third. Jay Simpson in fourth. And Brian Cohart in fifth. And And now it's official. Kenneth Redger takes the white flag from Phoenix, so this lap right here will end it. Barring a wreck, or it doesn't matter. No caution is going to come. Parham right on the tail end of his teammate Jay Stinson, even though Parham one lap down. Ken Redger coming off of 4, takes the checkered flag. Ken Redger is going to be your winner tonight at Phoenix, followed by Joshua Barr in second. Steve Lewis rounding out your top 3. Jay Stinson taking 4th. Brian Cohart rounding out your top 5. Man. So we'll put that on short. We'll switch over here to Redinger, and we will watch him do his celebrations or his burnouts. Oh. Another super dominant performance from Ken Redger, led 131 laps tonight here at Phoenix. Kind of a carbon copy of what he was able to do last night at Sonoma. Led a majority of those laps as well. And while Ken is finishing up that, we will go to our results. Race results and show. Ken Redinger going to take your win tonight from Phoenix for Grandstand Racing in number 24. Joshua Barr going to take second place in the number 35 for AR Audio. Steve Lewis is going to round out your podium in third. Jay Stinson 4th. Brian Cohart 5th. Dylan Orman, or Brian Cohart, finishing in 5th. Last car on the lead lap. Super strong race for new guy to the league. So I do gotta say congratulations on your top 5 and welcome to the Thursday Night Thriller. Dylan Orman, your first car 1 lap down, got caught on the wrong end of that caution. Is going to be in 6th place in the 901. Nick Ames, Marcus Hacker, those two. Marcus Hacker we saw running up front off and on all night, and another one of those cars that got caught on the wrong end of that caution during the green flag pit cycles. Going to be in 8th. Zach Clausen 9th. Justin Parham, super strong run, top 3 most of the night. Not sure what happened to him. Ends up 2 laps down to round out your top 10. Frank Caruso, another new name that I'm not too familiar with, grabbing 11th, 2 laps down. Rick Paradis in number 34, going to be 12th. Zachary Mulhern 13th. Austin Thompson 14th. Andrew Davis 15th, after seeing him get into a couple different incidents. Boy, that's hard to say. Andrew Davis 15th. Zach Hellman 16th, and I believe that is going to do it for our field. I think we only had 16 drivers, and yes, that is true. Man. So I'm gonna pause here and think about what happened. And if anyone from the race is watching the broadcast, if you want interviewed, hop in the broadcast waiting channel. And I don't even see anyone. I see Redinger up there. And I see Steve Lewis. Yeah, I think we might do. We'll do some. Maybe we'll plan it a little better next week. Try to get some of these guys in here. I don't want to rip them out of the conversation they're having, but I can go ahead and show you some cool little tidbits that I have here for our interviews to pull up some stuff. This is obviously not accurate because of the stage being a different stage lap than what the actual stage was, but yeah, I'll be able to show some stuff for the post-race interview crud. Steve Lewis was your 3rd place finisher. His fastest lap was 27.64, and he qualified 6th pretty cool to see Steve getting a podium finish here on Thursday nights. And going to our second place finisher, Joshua Barr, 35. Had 4 laps led. Qualified on pole. Fastest lap was 27.521. And then our race winner of Kenneth Redinger, 131 laps led. He would have been the stage winner. It's pretty safe to assume that had it ran out the way that I wish it would have. Fastest lap 27.441 and started from the 3rd position. With that out of the way, and since I don't want to really bother anyone for interviews, let's look at the schedule coming up. Last week was Michigan. This week was Phoenix. Next week, we go turning right again. We saw what Redinger was able to do tonight on an oval, which we definitely know he is well capable of being super dominant on ovals. We saw what he was able to do last night at Sonoma, and here we are coming up to another road course. Road America is a little bit more technical, I think, than what Sonoma may be. There's a little bit of more trickier spots, even though it's not quite as bad as Coda, I don't think. Coda is a pretty technical track when it comes to road. But after that, first week of September, going to Talladega for some super speedway racing, and then we go back to a shorter track at Dover, Chicagoland, Pocono, Homestead, Bristol, one of Jay Stinson's favorite tracks, Nashville, Charlotte to round out the regular season. Then we kick off that playoff bracket I was talking about pre-race. That'll kick off at Daytona, Richmond for our first round. Round 2 will be Iowa and Las Vegas. Round 3 will be Texas and Auto Club. And then our season championship of that playoff bracket tournament style racing that we're looking forward to this season, just like we were last, is going to finish off at a good old intermediate track of Kansas, which is basically my hometown track. It's only about 2 hours from me, so absolutely love Kansas. I think this season's going to be a lot of fun here. Season 2, definitely a lot of things to look forward to. And I'll kind of refresh the format a little bit that we talked about from pre-race, since we got a few more viewers in here watching than we had whenever I was rambling about that pre-race, and that is our stage finish points and the way those play out in this series. It's always going to be, with the exception of Road America, it's going to be a 20-lap shootout to the end. Stages are always going to be 20 laps to go. And then you have your sprint to the finish for your race win points and all of that. But here's that playoff bracket. We have 3 different styles here. I would assume Brandon is going to run it with, depending on what the participation through the season is like. So it would be a 12-man bracket here for X amount of drivers, 15. And then we have an 18-man bracket example here. So you can kind of see where everyone goes head to head. Basically heads up bracket tournament style playoffs. It was super fun to follow and watch at the end of last season. Definitely looking forward to seeing how the playoffs go this season. It was pretty exciting stuff last season. And I think that is going to do it for me, Buddy the Professor from Phoenix Raceway. This is the MRL Broadcasting YouTube channel with the Moonlight Racing League Thursday Night Thriller O'Reilly Series. If you enjoyed what you saw, give us a like and a sub. If you want to join us on track, head on over to moonlightracingleague.com. Find all the information about our racing league over there. Free league, Always a free league. We don't charge entry or anything like that. Just come, race, show up, have fun, and be friendly. With that being said, I will see you guys next week whenever we go to Road America to turn right. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.